welcome back to Say What. We are at our fourth park today. We've already been to the Magic Kingdom, we've been to Epcot, we've been to Hollywood Studios. Now it's Animal Kingdom. We're going to give you our top picks. We've bracketed every attraction at the parks against each other, and we're going to pick the final four. And when we get to the final four, we're going to combine them with the final four from the other three parks to have the ultimate Sweet 16 of all the attractions at Walt Disney World. So joining me here today, as we have been with the Watt family, is Reagan.
Hey.
Bree. Heather.
Hello.
Rustin.
Hey, everybody.
And Gren.
Hi.
So we're going to get right into this, and our first matchup is Dinosaur versus Winged Encounters. And we'll start with you, Reagan.
Dinosaur is that the one where they go back in time to? That's the big.
The Dino Institute, and it's the same ride vehicle as what Indiana Jones is in Disneyland.
Yes. And then Winged Encounters is just like a live action, have fun with the birds and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's an unfair matchup, but a ride versus a more of experience. But I'm gonna have to go with the ride just because that one's fun, and the faces that we make on that ride are hilarious.
Please tell me Mom's pictures up there.
We're gonna run it down.
We gotta get that.
So you're going Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Bree.
Yeah, Dinosaur is just, you go to parks, you want to ride rides for, at least I want to go for the thrill. And Dinosaur kind of gives you that thrill, so Dinosaur.
Heather?
I'm going to choose Dinosaur as well, even though the winged birds are good to go if it's really hot and have a seat and they come over your head from the back. You've got little kids and they might be interested, but I'm going with Dino.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can train those birds to do, and how they get some and the things that they talk. They have the birds that'll talk. They have them that do the flying tricks and all kinds of things. But Dinosaur is just an amazing attraction, and I got to go Dinosaur. I mean, they've got that pre-show that gets you all tuned in, that you're going back in time to find this dinosaur and bring it back. And I do get a little queasy sometimes. It's not the dinosaur part, but that thing has a little bounce to it.
Yeah.
Justin?
I like that one a lot. That experience is even better than the movie itself, and beyond that. When we get into it later, there may be a better attraction, a version of that in Disneyland, but gotta go with Dinosaur on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Dinosaur too, just because it is a thrill ride and the queue is really cool. And isn't that the one where on the pipes it has the recipe for mustard and ketchup?
Yeah.
So they have cool, neat little things to look for too.
Because it was sponsored by McDonald's first, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yep.
And so they've kept that. So it's clean sweep. Dinosaur takes out Winged Encounters. We're going to move on to It's Tough to Be a Bug, the 3D movie in the Tree of Life, and Rafiki's Planet Watch. And we'll start with Ren.
For me, I'm gonna have to go with It's Tough to Be a Bug, just because it's something we always like to do, and I have the fun little memory of when I was little. The first picture you took of me in there, I was just so sad, and I looked so angry, and then you try to get me the next time they're looking angry and sad. But it's fun and it's cool, and then when the stink bug comes out and they make it smell, and then when Hopper comes out of the ceiling, and then you just hear all the little kids scream. It's fun.
Yeah. Rustin?
Yeah, that's, I think, the top 3D experience you can have. It's got every one of the senses that you pick up on in there, and it never fails. The kids are going to be crying because it's just so realistic. It's awesome. Yeah, it's tough to be a bug.
Yeah, when the spiders drop down from the ceiling, they get right close to you, and but that animatronic of Hopper, I mean, I literally have seen little kids and mom and dad heading out the exit because Hopper is huge and he looks real. And then the bug spray, when they spray all of you with the bug spray, when the room fills with fog, it's just a really well put together attraction. And Rafiki's Planet Watch, I think that's great for if you take your little kids over there and they get to pet and see some animals. You even get to see how they treat some of them in the veterinary clinic over there, taking care of the animals at Animal Kingdom. But if I had a choice, I'd do It's Tough to Be a Bug. Heather?
I like It's Tough to Be a Bug, just because of the memories we have of going through there. Definitely, if you've got little kids and they scare easily, I would definitely not venture in there, because there are parents that end up taking kids out because it is a little scary. Especially, the bugs crawl underneath you and your seat rumbles, and that's the first time you hear a little kid scream. But I enjoy it. Rafiki's Planet Watch, you take a train over to it, and I think it's great for little kids. So if your kids, you think your kids will be scared and Tough to Be a Bug, then go ahead and take them to Rafiki's. But I'll stick with the tree.
Marie?
You guys keep talking about kids being afraid of bugs, but I'm an adult and I really don't like bugs. But I do like the thrill that you get from the thought of bugs being around you and whatnot. So definitely, It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Reagan?
I think it's just, they're two different things. One's more of like an experience, and like you get to go see all the bugs, where another is like a show, and you're like, well, I guess they're both experiences, but they're different types of experiences. And It's Tough to Be a Bug is a really cool one. You get to go inside the actual tree at Animal Kingdom, where Rafiki's Planet Watch, you get to go over there and just see what Disney is trying to do, like health consciously and like save the planet, save the trees, all that stuff. But It's Tough to Be a Bug is a real 4D experience. They get your nose, they get your feelings. It's in 3D. It's Tough to Be a Bug is a pretty cool show to watch.
So another clean sweep with It's Tough to Be a Bug. Another cool thing is when you have to go through that walk down into the tree, you see all the carvings on the tree of all the different kinds of animals and things. So it's really kind of a neat cue to get to see all of that.
The tree kind of reminds me of the Epcot sphere. It's like the thing you go into Animal Kingdom, and that's like the
Geodesic sphere.
it's just the thing you like. The first thing you think of when you go into Animal Kingdom, and then being able to go inside of it is cool.
Yep. So we got two clean sweeps to start off with here. So we're going to look at the Triceratops spin versus the Festival of the Lion King. So let's see if this theory holds true of rides versus shows.
This is different though. This is more of a carnival ride versus a really fun experience show where they have like monkeys jumping on
The trampoline.
on the trampolines, and like each section gets their own animal. I think one time they had a lamb, and they're like, "What does the lamb make?" And everyone's just like, or like it was a giraffe. It was a giraffe. What sound does a giraffe make? And none of us were like, I don't know. But it's just Festival of the Lion King is just a fun experience, and getting to see like a whole different culture and like how they celebrate some aspects. So I'm gonna have to go with the Festival of the Lion King, just because the Triceratops spin is more of a carny ride.
Okay.
I am a sucker for spinny rides. Personally, I love going on spinny rides. I like that feeling it gives me in my stomach. It doesn't make me queasy or anything. I don't know, I just love it. But The Lion King is iconic, and anytime you get to go see a show that like puts on anything related to The Lion King, that's probably gonna, especially to like a spinny ride, it's gonna win. So The Lion King for me.
Heather?
I do like it. I'm like Bria. I like spinny rides too, but it's more of a carnival ride. But the Festival of the Lion King, of all the shows that I think at the Disney parks, this one by far is the most interactive with the audience. Some of the other shows aren't near as interactive with the audience as the Festival of the Lion King is. So I like the Festival of the Lion King because of that. But love the aerobatics that are in there. So I'm going to choose Festival of the Lion King.
Yeah, so the Triceratops spin, I have not done it because I do not go round and round and round. But it's basically a roller coaster, but that the car you're in also spins while you're on the roller coaster. And is that right?
I thought that was
Yes.
the Primeval.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Primeval
That's right.
World.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I've got those confused. So yeah, so the Triceratops spin is just
It's like the
basically the
Dumbo
Dumbo ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So still the same thing. I mean, it just goes around and around, and you can go up and down in your Triceratops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get to. I'm sorry, I messed that up with Private
I
Little
believe
World.
so. You might have to look it up real quick just to make sure.
No, it is. And I got that
Yeah.
on here somewhere. Yeah. So, but the Festival of the Lion King, the music, the singing, the performances, the jumping monkeys, all of that. It's just a lot of people consider it the best live action show. I don't, but a lot of people do. But it is outstanding, and given the choice between the two, I think you would take your whole family and head over to the Festival of the Lion King. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, maybe if the Triceratops were pterodactyls, that way it's more realistic. No.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Festival of the Lion King, I love it. It's like a Broadway level show. I think it was a little more fun at the old location than the new location, so that might have changed it up a little bit, but I'll go see that every time we go. Can't miss that show.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be Festival of the Lion King for me, and also like when you go watch like Fantasmic, you like recognize that those are like the same like monkey-looking things that you see at the Festival of the Lion King.
Yeah, I did like the previous building. They built this new building for capacity, but now you feel like you're kind of in circus stands around. But the show and all that, the quality of the show is just as good. So
Yeah, the puppets, everything, all of it's a
Yeah.
good live show, and you're all around them. So every angle, like there's seats like around it. So every angle of the show, you're not just watching it on a stage.
and I think to me, they do a lot of music in there, but I think that's the best performance of Be Prepared.
Yeah.
Even better than even maybe in the movie. Okay, so now we've got the Boneyard, which is a place for kids to go and dig through and find
Okay.
the fossils, and Kilimanjaro safaris.
Like, do you choose these matches? Like, how do these matches happen?
Well, let's see. Red. We'll find out. We'll get to you.
Oh,
You can
no.
share your thoughts. We'll start with Red.
For me, this wasn't a hard pick. It's gonna have to be the Kilimanjaro Safari for me, because I love seeing like animals that you don't normally get to see, and learning about some animals that you didn't even know existed. Like one that was like a horse, kind of like a horse, but then it had like a zebra for a butt. I don't remember what it's called, but.
So there's one for Kilimanjaro, Rustin.
Yeah. I'll take the safari because, I mean, it's the closest thing you'll get to going through like a safari in Africa type deal. So they kind of give you a little taste of what that experience would be like, and it's a lot of fun seeing the animals and how they take care of them, those different things. So, safari.
Yeah, and a couple of neat experiences been on there. One time, it wasn't our family, but there was another little boy sitting on the other side of the vehicle, and the giraffe stuck his head down in there, and that was neat. And then one time we had to wait because the giraffes were on the roadway, and so we were just there, but the guides are talking to us about what we are seeing and that kind of thing, so you learn a little bit more. So you never know how long it's exactly going to be, because something like that can happen. That's what happens when you go into a real nature preserve. The animals are right there loose. So not all of them. I mean, when you see the lion, you think, they could just jump over here. They can't, but it looks like they possibly could. And that's what's kind of fun about it. But yeah, definitely, it's probably one of the highlights of going to the Animal Kingdom is you have to go to Kilimanjaro Safari.
Okay. I'm with the rest of them over there. I love the Kilimanjaro safaris. I love going out there. I love the reason why and everything, all the research Disney went into to making the safari area to be best for the animals, not that they're like in a zoo caged up, more natural. That's what I liked. Well, they're not, I don't know how to, like a regular zoo, they're all in like little cubicles.
Cages. and stuff.
Yeah, so this is more open. They're very much into the care of the animals. Definitely like to see the giraffes, the close-ups we've gotten with some of the giraffes, and then it's just really cool to go out there and do that. And sometimes, just like some of the other rides, your guide can make the ride too.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to a safari in Africa. I actually still plan on doing it one day. I will do it eventually. So it was really cool to kind of get that experience here in our own country. And I love seeing the animals do what they do without being like restrained from certain things. So, and I don't know, it's just a really cool thing to experience. So,
Again, how did you come up with these matchups? Like, you're putting some very, like, if anything, I would like to see that one against the Rapids or something. Like, how do you come up with these?
So, just like in the national tournament.
Yes, Dad. But like, how did you just randomly type them as you found like
No, there's a little rhyme and reason to it, but
I want to know the rhyme and reason.
well, what I'm telling you is, I didn't want to pit similar things against similar things, so I wanted different things against, so that there was a true choice.
Okay.
You don't want to, I didn't want to put the two live action shows against the live action shows right there at the beginning, or anything like that. Wanted it to be a variety.
Okay.
So I tried to find a variety of ways to match them up.
This is very unfair because just the safari is just a total different experience that you're not gonna get if you go to a normal zoo. And I think Disney does a good job of trying to make sure their animals are kept safe and that they're kind of getting the closest to the wild that they can get. Yeah, they're going to be in cages and they'll have the best zookeepers and all that to keep them healthy and fed well, but it's a different experience going on to the safari than it is to a zoo.
Yeah.
And
nice
it's more
to-
like a natural preserve, a reserve. They are they're out in what would be wild to them. I mean, we may know that they're confined, but it is their habitat that they're
they have more land to roam.
Than a normal zoo.
Yeah, it's nice to know that they actually get to be animals rather than something you just go and look at.
Objects to stare at.
Tiger King.
And it's like the Animal Kingdom Lodge when we went over and ate at Sanaa.
Going
You
see
get to
the animals
put the
over there.
night glasses on and see the animals out on
Or
that.
even
And that-
stay at a hotel like that. You just wake
That'd
up
be
one
really
morning
cool.
and a
Just see a
giraffe
giraffe
right
outside
outside
your
your door.
So there's some really cool things with the animals at Animal Kingdom. But Kilimanjaro, so we've got 4 clean sweeps to start off with, just like the national tournament would be.
I don't think this next one is going to be a clean sweep.
Now let's look at
This
Cali
one is
River
unfair.
Rapids and Finding Nemo the musical.
Again, see, this is why I don't get the matchups. But gosh, the Nemo musical is pretty awesome. The puppets, all of it, it's just awesome. But the River Rapids is a thrill ride, and at the end of the day, it gets hot in Florida no matter what, or most of the time. And going on the River Rapids is a nice cool down, and so I'm just gonna have to go with the River Rapids.
Agree?
Who doesn't like to ride down rapids and get, potentially wet or soaked? I personally love that ride, as long as I'm not wearing socks. I did enjoy the Finding Nemo musical, but this kind of goes back to the ride over show, where it's not always true, but in this case it's true. I'd take the ride over the show.
Heather?
I prefer the Cali River Rapids. Definitely, you have a better opportunity to take your shoes off at the Cali River Rapids versus some of the other water rides that are out there. But unlike Bree, I don't like my socks getting wet. But definitely the Cali River Rapids, even though I do enjoy the Finding Nemo.
Well, I guess I'll be the first to break
I had a feeling.
with it here. Finding Nemo the musical is my favorite live action show at all of Disney. They have created these puppets that really bring the characters to life. The people that then perform with them, even though they're on stage with them, they are a character themselves, and they do a good job there. And I really enjoy the two new songs to it that they bring in. Are we having a sidebar conversation? It's kind of like Survivor here. The Finding Nemo the musical. So I like it like this. If we only had a choice to do one of these two, and I couldn't do them both, I'm going to Finding Nemo the musical, because I could do a water ride, or I can get wet. I can do that. A lot of parks have a ride very similar to Cali River Rapids, but Finding Nemo, and I mean that huge pelican and Crush, the huge Crush, the bicycle with Mr. Ray that
Yeah.
comes in on.
Forgot about
I mean, all of those things make this show just so special. And then the huge stage, and that they're up in the air. I mean, for me, and it's just something near and dear to my heart, but it's Finding Nemo the musical.
Yeah, I'm going with Nemo too. May not be my top, but it's up there for sure. This is the live shows, and I just love Finding Nemo altogether. So that's what I got.
Okay, Ren?
You gonna tie it up, or are you gonna go with the right side?
Because this is.
She even has a blank on what she thinks what's gonna win.
Yeah, I left it blank because I didn't know. Because this to me is such a hard matchup. Like, I love them both, and it's so hard to pick one over the other. How?
Well, look at it this way. The Nemo show, if you watch it, we usually watch it maybe 1 or 2 times while we're there. But the River Rapids, we're going to
We also
ride
do
over
one
and
or
over
two
again.
times.
But we're going to do it more than once. Like, a lot more
One
than
or
once.
2 times.
We'd like to, but the wait times are longer.
Which one would you want to go do first for when you walk into Animal Kingdom?
I don't know, because one time we did go to the Kilimanjaro River Rapids, like right when we got there,
See?
and then we were
Right as we left.
Regretted it most of the time.
yeah, and then you
They're
just
all wet.
walk around soaking wet.
I just don't think it stands out compared to some of the other attractions.
And I just like roll the dice.
And
it's
if you
1, 2,
like-
3, and
If you like
odds are even.
what they call, the intellectual properties, the Cali River Rapids, I think, is, like I said, you can ride that at Worlds of Fun and Oceans of Fun, several other
Themings.
places. I do like that they theme it after, like, the loggers had come in and they weren't supposed to, and they that's just Disney, they'll add that. But the show of Finding Nemo and the originality of that, it's just incredible. We need a call. We need to go one way or another.
I guess it's the River Rapids.
So the Rapids move on.
The Rapids were on.
That'll
Nemo
be
was
knocked
even.
out next round anyway.
Okay, so now we go on to Avatar, The Flight of Passage versus the Wildlife Express train. So, Ren, see if this choice is a little easier.
Even though we haven't done any of the new Avatar editions, just watching the videos and like seeing how the like machinery works for Flight of Passage, I just obviously know it's like going to be amazing. And also seeing that like it's been open for how long and it still has like such long wait times and everything that like it keeps bringing people in. So I'm gonna have to go with Avatar Flight of Passage.
Rustin?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too. After doing some research on it, it's kind of like Soarin' mixed with Star Tours, and that's pretty awesome to get to link up and experience what it'd be like on those dragons. I'm going with Flight.
Yeah, the Wildlife Express train takes you over to the Rafiki Planet Watch, and that's nice. But the Avatar, not only the ride once you get on it, but the queue getting you in there. Whether
Oh, yeah.
you got to go through like getting linked up with your avatar,
Scan.
and
Like, even becoming an avatar.
yeah, and that's what's really cool about it is that whole in your head, getting you into it before you actually get onto the experience.
Is
And
that one the one where you like walk through the lab?
yeah, and they scan you, and but they're gonna match you up with the right avatar for you before you can get onto the Banshee. So all of that experience that they do with these things and the in depth of that, you can feel it breathing under you.
Yeah.
All of that to me it's the Flight of Passage is definitely a winner.
I'm gonna go with the Flight of Passage as well. Just from what I've seen and what I've heard, it makes it more personal experience versus the Wildlife Train Express.
Yeah, I'm choosing the Flight of Passage as well because not only do the lines take forever still at this point, but even before Avatar was there, it was a huge deal when it was announced that they were going to build this, and everybody talked about it. Everybody was excited for it. And even though I haven't done this ride yet, I know it's going to be awesome. So Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, and just seeing how much Disney like put into these rides, even though it's not really a Disney-owned kind of. It is. Well, at the time, you know what I mean. Like Disney didn't really make the film, and for them to put this much effort and this much quality into this type of ride is amazing. And I think they did a really good job of it. And it's like comparing Soarin' to a ride, like to a train. So I'm gonna have to go with Soarin', or in this case, Avatar Flight of Passage.
Yeah, they might be very disappointed to hear us comparing this to Soarin'.
Well,
because it's,
that's all that's how I see it, but it's probably a totally different experience.
yeah, one of the big differences, like Soarin', where you're sitting in a group on a hang glider, you're on one individual deal here, just you, and doing that. But yeah, Flight of Passage is getting a lot of love these days, and still, even after it's been around now for a couple of years. So now we go on to the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is a walkthrough, seeing the animals that way, versus the Navi River Journey, which is the other Avatar Land boat ride.
Ooh.
So Reagan,
This is just gonna be hard because we've never been on the Navi River Journey, and the trek is where we got to see the bats and like walk through the bird cages and stuff like that, and see the tigers. Gosh, that's just an animal experience versus a ride experience. In this case, I'm gonna have to go with, but you can go to a zoo any day. Well, I guess we'll just go with the River Journey, just because of the animatronic of, I don't know her name, but she just moves so smoothly and all the like everything on the internet. So I'm just gonna have to go with the River Journey.
Yeah, choose the river journey as well, kind of because of what Reagan said. You can kind of go to any state and go see some animals at a zoo, like birds and stuff. So the Navi River journey seems it's another Avatar thing that seems like it'd be really cool. So the river journey.
I'm going to go with the river journey as well, but one of the things that I like about the I never say it right, the Jungle Trek was that the last time we went through, they had some people standing in there to help explain some things that they didn't have in the past, and I really appreciated that. They had just released a male tiger in there, and they're trying to get them introduced to the female tiger that was on the other side, and they could smell each other. And so the lady that was there was explaining what was going on, and we got to see that. And they had just released two into one of the areas, some of the babies that had been born, and they were just starting to come out to be seen by the people. But that's really cool. But I like the ride. I think I will like the ride a lot more. So the Navi River, I can't even speak today. Navi River Journey.
yeah, I can say when you actually are in the presence of a tiger when it roars, it's totally different than anything else that you've ever seen or heard. It will make the hair on the neck. And the thing about it is, I mean, you're so glad that there's a separation. One of the cool things is you can see the tigers, and in the background you can see some of the animals that the tigers hunt down. And you think, why don't they just run over there and take those things out? But they actually can't get to each other, but it looks like they can. And that's another magic of Disney, how they space things out and have hidden barriers and things like that. The Navi River Journey has taken some heat for being really short. It's like, I think, a 3 to 5 minute experience. You get on the boat and you get on, and it's really short. I think they had to do some cutbacks, and a lot of video is in it. A lot of the animal moving and stuff like that are just video screens. But the one animatronic that it does have is just an outstanding one, and it's just a sight to behold. So I'm going with the Navi River Journey, but I think after I've done it a couple, 3 times, it won't be like something I'm going to want to just do and do and do and do. But you do definitely want to see it for sure.
Yeah, when I was doing the research, I thought it was going to be like a Pirates. And it is similar, but there's like 2 turns in it, and then you're finished. Kind of leaves you wanting more, because what I saw, I mean,
That's what a lot of people
what
say.
they do with the world there, and the lighting and the effects and the floating mountains and all that stuff, it looks great. But I think it's a good thing that people want more of it. Maybe that's something they do later on. And with the Jungle Trek, that is a great experience. but there's so many things kind of similar with the safari and those different things. I'm gonna go with Navi River Journey because of the technology and how awesome it is, even though it's only, you only get a little taste of it.
Right?
I'm gonna have to agree with Rustin, just like picking the Navi River Journey because of the technology in it, and just that animatronic is so cool. And then like when we watched Imagineers, just getting to see like everything that went into it and just how much like mechanics is in that thing that you can't see, but they're all there.
Yeah, even the rocks.
Yeah.
Like how that's metal. Like
Yeah.
they make that metal look like wood, rock, everything.
Yeah. Oh, and at nighttime, I definitely want to walk around that land. The bioluminescent stuff
yeah.
starts to show up, and that's
When
going to
you
be
walk,
a really cool experience. So you guys wanted 2 thrill rides against each other. You guys said, hey, look at
Oh
that
my
matchup. So
gosh.
here we go.
Oh my gosh.
We've got Primeval World that will just really thrill you to death, and Expedition Everest. Still just kind of a boring walkthrough and train ride.
I know those train
So-
rides, man.
So we'll start with Bryn.
as much as I do love Primeval World and all, it does not compare to that of Mount Everest. And also commenting on Mount Everest, I know why it's not there anymore or why it's not working, but I am glad that we did get to go when the Yeti was working, because it just like, I was like a little kid when we first did it, and I wasn't even supposed to go on it, but they let me through anyways. And just seeing its like arm just swoop down, it's like terrifying, but it adds to it and just makes it so real. And I wish there was a like way that they could like find a more sustainable way to put the Yeti back in and make it alive again.
Rustin?
Yeah, I would like. We did get to go when the Yeti was on, and Ren. They slid a piece of paper between her head and the. She was like right at the mark, and the guy he was just kind of. Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll let you go or not. Just keep going, see what happens. But she was able to go through it, and she loved it. But I love that the when you go backwards and you just don't know what's coming. That's one of the great roller coasters anywhere. So Expedition Everest.
Yeah, so when we got to the top, so the guy at the bottom, you got, the you must be this high stick, and she was right on the bubble, but the guy he just punted. He's like, you can take her up, but they may not let her up there. So up there at the top, I kept her real close to me, and wherever the cast member was, I kept her opposite side of the cast member, and they let us. So I rode with her just to make sure that, because I'm like, okay, I'll hold on to her if I have to. No one's going to come out of this thing. But we got in it and was able to go. The thing about it that gets me is, that eventually they're going to come up to where their Yeti has destroyed the track, and then it's the backward part. So when you got, say, a little stomach issues, the backward part is the stuff that'll really get to you. And so that got me. And then one year we went and it was cooler. It was like one of the days we actually wore jackets.
It was 40-some degrees
And,
in Florida.
Did that. And then the line wasn't that long, and the girls then was like, let's go do it again. I was like, yeah, I'll just film you. I want to get video, so I'm just going to stay here and I'll film it from here. And I'll let you guys, so you guys all went and did it
Because
again.
wasn't that like right after we did Dinosaur 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, dinosaur just messes you
Doesn't
up
know
bad.
that.
No, it's not
not
good.
kind.
But you have to take it. Expedition Everest is definitely one of the best thrill rides in the whole park, so I'm definitely going with Everest.
I'm the same way. I loved it when the Yeti worked. It was amazing. I like Ren. I really wish they could find a way to fix the animatronic and make everything safe to be able to have that animatronic go. But it's still a good ride, even though this one struggles with his stomach on it several times.
I've never lost my lunch.
You almost did in California.
I've never lost my lunch.
Someone had to pull over to the bushes.
Know when to say when, and that's the second time through Expedition Everest. Say when.
But I will choose Everest.
Agree?
I'm gonna choose the world.
Really?
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was about to say, wow.
I thought you were
Wow.
going for it.
No
No.
one in the right
Everest is, in my opinion, up there with Splash Mountain, Space Mountain. You know, all those great rides that Disney is known for. So Everest is for me.
Yeah.
Another mountain.
Everest. I even remember the time that morning we were like, I want to go again. We got there so early. I think was it the extra hours where we could go in early that day, and we just were like, let's go again. And we rode so many rides that day. And Everest just will always, I don't know, it's something about it. I still to this day will not open my eyes when we go backwards. My eyes stay closed. I do not want to see the Yeti at all. Like it scares me to death.
All right, now we made it through our first round. Now, these next 4 that we pick will move on to the ultimate Sweet 16 and face off against the best rides in all of Walt Disney World. So now, one of these will advance. Dinosaur or Tough to Be a Bug.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with Dinosaur just because it is a ride. Again, ride versus experience. But just, I don't know. Yeah, it's good fun to sit in a theater and watch a movie, but you're not going to be able to go somewhere and ride Dinosaur. So I'm going to have to go with Dinosaur.
Marie?
Yeah, Dinosaur just gives you that thrill. It's Tough to Be a Bug gives you somewhat of a thrill, but it just doesn't, for me, compared to the thrill you get from Dinosaur.
I'm the same way. I'm going to go with Dinosaur. Apparently, I tend to make some great faces on the rides, so I'm going to choose Dinosaur.
Yeah, even though if you do these things often, that you can get a little queasy, but Dinosaur, there is the moment when you're in the total dark and then the big dinosaur is right there, and that's when they snap the shot, and that's when Eyes got as big as saucers over here, and they snap that shot, and you got someone just looks panicked.
Just trying to hide.
But it definitely has that repeatability. You can enjoy this and see different things on more than one ride of it because there's so much environmental stuff around you. So definitely Dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm just taking Dino for the epic mom moments.
Thanks.
Those are good times.
Yeah, there's kind of no debate here, despite like all the fun memories with It's Tough to Be a Bug and how much I do love it, but it doesn't compare to Dinosaur at all.
So a clean sweep makes it into the final 4. Dinosaur. Now another. These are 2 not really thrill rides. These are going to be Festival of the Lion King and the Kilimanjaro Safari. Ren, you get to start us off.
This one's another tough one because we usually go to like the Festival of the Lion King
Bless
once.
you.
The
Bless
Rona.
She's like, let me.
I need a tape measure. I need to see 6 feet.
Hand sanitizer.
Anyways, it's a little tough here because we don't really like do one more over the other. We kind of do them both once, and like that's good. But I think I'm gonna have to go with the Festival of the Lion King just because of how cool it is and just how no matter how many times you've seen it, you can just be in awe of everything that they're able to do in there.
Rustin?
Coming from the LK, I'm going to take the LK. Right. Lion King right here.
Oh my gosh.
What a nerd.
I don't know. The Kilimanjaro Safari is such a. You don't get to see it. A lot of people say, well, it's like a zoo. I don't really think it is. It's more like a safari. It's more like you get to go, like Rustin said earlier. It's like bringing the experience of Africa to you, and I really enjoy that. But the Festival of Lion King and the way that they do that show, I'm just trying to think if I could only do one. What one would I do?
It's tough.
It's a tough choice. But I'm going to go with the intellectual property, and I'm going to go with the Festival of the Lion King.
Oh my gosh, I'm surprised.
Heather.
This is a tough one too because Kilimanjaro Safari, depending on the time of the day that you ride it, can be different. It's not always the same going through because you're not going to see the same animals because of the the animals being active at different times of the day. But I will, if I'm going to say which one I would rather wait in line for, I would rather wait in line for the Festival of the Lion King. It definitely seats more people, but I definitely like the Festival of the Lion King.
Okay, so this is what I asked myself during this matchup, and it wasn't a hard decision. Which one would I want to see more? Would I want to see people pretending to be animals in a show, or actually go see live animals almost in their natural habitat? Real animals won it for me. I'd rather go see actual live animals do whatever they do in nature more than a show. So that's just for me.
I totally agree. And I think the safari, it's different anytime you go out through the day. It's a totally different experience when you go at night, even though we haven't done that yet. But it's totally to get to see different animals and their like the way they get to do all that. So I'm gonna have to just go with the safari.
Reagan, we were the last ride out one time when we were there.
I don't.
Well, they've extended the hours of the park, and when we went, Animal Kingdom was our first park to close every day
like
because
at 8 or 9.
of animals. But they've changed it around, and now it stays open later, and they're doing things a little bit differently. So, well, festival moves on.
Wait, what?
Yeah, those four.
You all did?
Four.
I thought Fred
Four
did
of
the
them,
safari.
No, they all chose the Lion King.
Well,
I know.
and I would feel really bad about that, except for what you did to Nemo the musical. So there you go. It goes both ways.
Yeah, I had to cross out Nemo on the list.
So Rapids. Now we're to Cali River Rapids and Avatar: Flight of Passage. So Reagan, Rapids or the Flight of Passage?
This again, since we haven't rode the Flight of Passage, I don't know. It's a getting wet on one ride, and then more of a Soarin' experience. I'm gonna have to go with the Flight of Passage just because of how much they pull you in, like you said before, in the queue, like scanning you, matching you up, and feeling the actual living, breathing thing. I'm gonna have to go with the Flight of Passage.
Three.
Yeah, I agree with Reagan. I'm gonna go with the Flight of Passage. It's just been talked about a lot, and it has such high hype about it. So it seems like it'd be really a really great ride. Plus Rapids, there's rides like that at almost every amusement park. So Avatar for me.
I'm gonna choose Avatar, even though we haven't ridden in it too.
He made that argument about Nemo and that, and then you guys still didn't.
Well, that's why it won.
The hypocrisy.
That's why it lost according to Avatar. But like against Nemo, that's a show. Avatar's a ride.
Well, I'm gonna do intellectual property just like Girl does, and choose the Avatar.
I was choosing a ride over a show the first time. Now I'm choosing between two rides, and I'm going to choose the more original ride over the ride you can go do at other parks.
So
He's working his argument.
I'm going with Flight of Passage over Rapids. I didn't take Rapids in the first place, but definitely Flight of Passage is so innovative, and there's just no way between riding on a raft over the water for that one big splash versus the thrill of what it would be like to fly on the back of one of those Banshees. I mean, if you've even watched the movie once, wouldn't you love to do that? Just go through and fly that. So I'm a Flight of Passage.
Yeah, this one is one of the easiest decisions for me, and I can't wait till we go back and get to really experience that. And I think it's just the fact that they brought in good things from different pieces, like the breathing and the realistic of the Banshee from like extraterrestrial. That's there, and then kind of the riding experience of like Star Tours and some of that stuff. I gotta go with that.
Right?
Sorry, I was yawning. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to go with Flight of Passage just because, like, it's a ride with a very like cool and creative queue with an experience that makes you feel like you're a part of it versus something that's just a ride. Because like when they create these new like universes, we all just like, oh, I wonder what it'd be like to be there. This makes you feel like you're getting like put into Avatar, and it's such a cool.
So wait, let me ask you this: do you think Nemo would have won against Flight of Passage?
No, Nemo.
So-
Flight of Passage was going to make it through here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way that.
It was my reasoning which made him react that way, I think.
Yeah. It was.
You used his
If,
argument against me.
I mean, the lines will tell the story there. I
Yeah.
mean, the lines for Flight of Passage are just sometimes 120 to 180 minutes long. Even, I mean, not right now because the park's closed, but when it's open. And you know, if you plan the 30 minutes ahead, you can get into Finding Nemo. It only is shown like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So Flight of Passage makes the final 4. The last final 4 choice now comes down to the Navi River Journey versus Expedition Everest. Ren?
We know it's a tough one.
Actually, it's not tough. It's gonna have to be Everest. You kind of out of your mind if you pick the river rapids, not the river rapids, the river journey over this.
Or the River Rapids, either one. Yeah.
Okay.
Rustin?
3-minute ride leaves you just wanting more and questioning everything about life. Or Everest that keeps you wanting more is in, I gotta get back in this line, I gotta go again. Everest.
Yeah,
Everest.
definitely Everest. And I agree with those who have said it. They've got to get the Yeti going again. It's just when he swipes his hand over the top like that right there.
And that's why I stay closed.
That is an awesome effect, and even just passing him, even though he's not moving, it still is a cool piece of the ride. But yeah, Everest all the way.
I'm the same way. Everest all the way. I'll choose a roller coaster every time.
Everest, I knew it was going to make it to the final 4. It's probably going to make it even further. So Everest for me.
Oh yeah, Everest. No argument.
I also have an idea. Disney does not have rights to X-Men yet, does it?
No, there were some restrictions on contracts of what can be on the east side of the Mississippi and the west side of the Mississippi. So if you remember when we went to California, we could see Captain America and all that stuff, but we've never seen any of that in Florida. But the rules they're working on contracts to fix all of
I was
that.
just thinking to fix the Yeti, if they do get the rights to that, then they can use adamantium to fix the Yeti.
Yeah, they could use some better metal. That's for sure. Okay, now we've got our final 4, but before we sign off with this, and we're gonna do something special right here. And so, Ren, I want you to take the dice, and I want you to roll the dice and give me that number.
5.
Roll it again.
We need a 1 through 4.
4. Okay. Now, Reagan, roll the dice. 3. Great. All right. Don't need the other
Rustin,
one
get
because it
one.
has to.
Rustin, get
Already
a 1.
done it.
Okay, so you want to know why we rolled the dice and just had to have a 4, 3, 2, 1? You got to tune in to the final video to find out when we give the ultimate countdown of the entire Walt Disney World, all 4 parks. We have the top 4 of every park.
Sweet 16!
Now we're going to the Sweet 16. Join us for that one. So, this is Earl with Say What, saying thanks for joining us here today. Hey, don't forget, to click like or subscribe. And that way you'll be getting notifications when we do more. One of these days, the one video we will do that has nothing to do with Disney will be dinner versus supper.
No!
Yeah, you'll find that out. We'll do that one of these days. But the next one you will see will be the ultimate Sweet 16. This is Earl with Say What, saying we'll see you real soon.
See ya.